My name is Chris Phipps, and I am a PADI IDC staff instructor, a TDI technical instructor. I'm also a public safety dive instructor. I've been scuba diving and teaching for over 30 years, and I've worked in hotel resort operations in Hawaii, and I now teach actively year-round in Lake Tahoe. And I've been approached by High Desert Pharmaceutics to test and evaluate a new product called WaterGlide, which is a lubricant to assist divers getting in and out of wetsuits, both wet and dry. So the normal process, of course, of donning a wetsuit, whether it's for the divers themselves or customers in rental suits, is getting the feet into the legs. And it's normally quite a battle. And this is a more flexible neoprene than many. But you still have wear points, especially over the ankles. And then sliding the suit up. And so this is the product. This is called WaterGlide, and it's a lubricant which comes in a shatterproof container, holds enough that lasts for numerous dives, doesn't require very much, and what you'll see is, unlike some of the other products that have tried to fill this application, this goes on very easily, doesn't require a lot, and it's going to leave no sort of residue afterwards. So there's a pump built right into the container. Can be locked closed once in the dive bag, open, and it just takes a few sprays on the catch points that would normally be pulled and stretched trying to get someone into the wetsuit. So now, look how easily that leg comes on. Less wear and tear on the suit, less work for the diver, and my left leg, which doesn't have the product, still a bit of the old battle. The suit slides up easier, and I don't feel like it's binding on my leg, where here you have to do some of the adjusting. Okay, so now what we've done is we've gotten the wetsuit wet. And as you know, the most difficult time getting in and out of the wetsuits is for that second, third, or fourth dive of the day when the suit's wet, because the nylon tends to bind more on the person. You see we have the suit dripping wet. And what I'll do is I'll put the WaterGlide product on again. It doesn't matter that my foot's a little wet. My left leg rather, still does not have the product. So even wet, just slides right up. And the side without it, see how it binds around the foot? Even how it slides up. This seats nicely. The other side grabs. So it makes the suit easier to get in and out of. And for dive stores running the suits, it reduces wear and tear on the suit, because students and customers won't be pulling on them, ripping at the seams. In addition to getting the regular wetsuits on, the product is equally good for things such as gloves, where people traditionally have a lot of difficulty and end up pulling and stressing the product. So my left hand doesn't have anything. This is an extra large glove, which is the right size for my hand. And you can see it takes a little bit of work to get the glove on and off. Now we apply just a little bit of the WaterGlide. Fingertips, palm, Again, extra large glove. Goes on that easy. And equally comes off that easy. And again, no film, no residue afterwards. So one of the big differences between WaterGlide and other wetsuit lubricant products is the fact that because of its chemical makeup, it doesn't leave behind any sort of oily residue, which means it's not going to attract and keep sand against a diver's body. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to put this on fairly heavy on my forearm. And I'm going to cover my arm in sand. Now once you did that with other products, you'd have a hard time getting the sand off. All you do is be grinding it into skin. But if you notice here, with just a few swipes, the sand is all gone. And there's no residue, there's no oily film. So in evaluating WaterGlide, there's some factors that struck me that make it very different from any other wetsuit lubricant products which may be on the market. The most important to me is the fact that after using it, there's no oily residue left on the skin. I've used some of the other products, and afterwards I feel slimy and greasy, and I want to take a shower. I have to really wipe off the product, and it tends to grind sand and all into my skin. This, as you saw from the demonstration earlier, and that's the same arm, it's not a problem. That also means it's not holding sand in the suit as much, which means less wear and tear on the suit. I don't have that grinding feeling when I go to get into the suit. Another factor is that there's a disinfectant built into the product, which means that if I'm using it on gloves and booties, areas that typically build up a lot of odor, that's going to be dramatically reduced. Now, I do most of my diving here at Lake Tahoe these days, and we do a lot of dry suit diving. And this product works equally well on latex neck seals and wrist seals. And for whether it's the consumer or the dive store, especially on that second dive of the day when there's no talc in the seal, and divers are pulling those seals over their wet hair or over a lot of perspiration, the latex tends to bind to the skin and it causes it to rip. No problem at all with the WaterGlide product. Just as we demonstrated with the wetsuit earlier, wet or dry, it helps the rubber slide over the body with a lot of ease. I've been using this product for several months, not giving it any special treatment. Another thing I noticed compared to any other product out there is that it doesn't get gummy, whether it's in the pump dispenser or buildup in the suit itself. I haven't noticed any buildup at all, and I think it's evident because you don't see it on the pump. This is a product which seems to dissipate very naturally, and again, leaving no residue behind. It's going to come in two sizes for a consumer. One's a small size, it can easily be stuck in a tool kit or a glove box, and then a larger size for a dive bag. And the container is a soft, non-breakable or a shatterproof container, so it doesn't require any special care or anything in the dive bag. For dive stores, it's going to come in a larger size, so that can be left out in your changing room. And again, a perfect application for this is people trying on wetsuits or dry suits in a dive store. Applying the product means that they're going to have an easier time getting into a suit, less wear and tear on the suit. They won't be exhausted or tired. Many dive store owners will tell you after trying on about 2 suits, the customer is generally either ready to walk out the door or they're not going to work with you anymore. This makes that whole process a lot easier. Additionally, you're not going to have to clean the suit afterwards because of the disinfectant material. You can put the suit right back on the rack for the next customer to try on with no residue buildup and no odor. And again, I've been using this for several months, both in dry and wetsuit applications, and this seems to be the answer that we've been looking for.